what the... So that happened? I honestly did not think that I would ever be able to see the Northern Lights in Denmark as we just did. So I'm out here with Mikkel, and another guy came by at the same location to photograph here. And we were on the way out here, and suddenly I'm looking up and I'm like, that's the Milky Way. And it's like, no, I have seen that before. That was the Northern Lights. That was like a big purple spike in the middle of the sky going all the way up to the Big Dipper. It's like, honestly never thought I would be able to see something like that in Denmark. You can even see all the greens here in the background going on. So we've been photographing for the past like 45-ish minutes before I actually record this, because I've just been all over the place. Finding the composition was super hard, obviously. It's like always panic, and like my L bracket didn't work and I couldn't attach the camera. I think I missed out on the best spikes, but anyway, I think I got something. Got plenty of time lapses, and I'm just super excited. I've spent a lot of the day to actually go around and scout different locations, because I haven't really been a whole lot to the northern coast of Zealand now after I've moved to Copenhagen. So it's always good to go out and scout first. I'm having goosebumps. I didn't think I would be able to actually capture something like this here. So it was actually in the blue hour that we arrived and saw the first Northern Lights beams, which was amazing. It went all the way to like KP7 from what I can see on the indicators. And we could see it so good, even though we have like half moon up here, crescent moon. And you can still see how much there is. And it's really good with the moon because it's lighting up the foreground just enough so I don't have to make long exposures to get a noise-free foreground. So that's really nice. We are going to stay here for a little while longer. We have all night. It has only just become night now. I can see there are other people coming out here too. Oh yeah. Wow. I was really taken by surprise by just how strong the first burst of auroras was. As you can see in these photos, edited of course, the lights were visible already at 7:08 PM, just around nautical twilight during a bright half moon in Denmark. Even in Iceland, that's a pretty good sighting of Northern Lights. As you can see on this time-lapse, this first show was really good. I used 3 different cameras this evening, my Sony a7R III, Sony a7R V and Sony a7C. On those 3 cameras I used a Sony 16-35 f2.8, Sony 20mm f1.8 and Sigma 20mm f1.4. It's a lot of cameras to manage at the same time, but it is always beneficial to have different angles, compositions and focal lengths when you're doing both videos and photos. As it gradually got darker, the auroras actually became a bit weaker, but after a few hours of waiting, they slowly started to become stronger again. Strong enough for decent photos. It's popping a little bit again now, but it's not entirely as it was when we just arrived. We're just crossing our fingers that more will happen, because I know how much it can pop. And this here is, even though there's something, as you can see here in the background, it's not all the way up there. Oh yeah, nice. better than I dared hope for. But I'm never satisfied. I want more. Someone who haven't learned how to photograph the Northern Lights. Watch my other video about that if you want to. I didn't have to wait much longer, because around 10 PM the gathered audience got a show most could only have dreamed of when the lights ignited. honestly never thought I'd end up in a situation where a 20mm focal length was too narrow to photograph the auroras in Denmark. Not even the 16mm was enough. I had to actually make panoramas to capture the entire show, but so be it. A big benefit to making time-lapses, besides the beautiful final video, is I capture the entire show and I can then single out the best raw files and make those my final photos. There's of course a curation process going on, and besides valuing the composition of each photo, something you can learn much more about by getting my 2 ebooks on composition, there's a link in the description of the video. It is mainly about just selecting the photos where the auroras look the best. You can see all these photos in higher quality in my gallery of landscape photos from Denmark on my homepage. Here's also a bit of photographer's eyegasm live reaction from when the auroras were topping. I would like to draw your attention to those fascinating pulses you see in the auroras. They were so fast the time-lapse couldn't even catch them.
Jeg troede aldrig, jeg skulle bruge over mit objektiv var for snævert i Danmark.
So I will just try to block this a little bit. Wow, oh, what an evening. It has been insane. Like way better than one could hope for in Denmark. Oh my god. So right now I've scouted another place and I want to go to, but generally like our main problems tonight is that it's super moisty and also getting frosty. So there's like frost on our bags and it may fog up the front of the elements. You can see how the moon is like all flaring here because there is a little bit of moisture on the front element. But besides that, I'll just we will head. Actually, I'm joined by Mikkel Beider, my good old friend, and a guy called Martin. Yeah, I think I mentioned that earlier. Oh my god. Anyway, we're going to another place. So we have changed position to this tree, with a tree here in the foreground. As you can see, still a little bit of activity there in the horizon. Hopefully it will change, but for now we're just setting up this composition. This specific one here, I'm also making a shot for the foreground with a more close down aperture to get this birch tree, fallen over birch tree in focus, and then use that as a foreground to this pine tree, and hopefully with a bit more activity from the northern lights there in the background. That ought to look cool. If you struggle with editing photos and realizing the potential in the scene in front of you, there's a link and a coupon code in the description of the video where you can get $45 off when enrolling in my huge 19 hours plus from beginner to advanced post-processing course, Photoshop for landscape photographers. Be sure to benefit from that. After about an hour or so, the moon started slowly to creep into our scene. The lights weren't really super strong and the lenses started to fog up, as you can see in this time-lapse. Because of all this, we decided to call it an evening. I didn't get a big finish with my final photos, but in all their simplicity, I actually like them. I hope you enjoyed this video. I literally spent all day making it, as I recorded all this on the 27th of February, edited it on the 28th and released it on the 1st of March. As always, I'd highly appreciate a like, share this video with your photography friends, subscribe if you want to see even more videos about landscape photography, and check out the links in the description of the video if you want to learn my landscape photography techniques. See you next time.